Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet, Earth. Today we're going to work with what I call active or radical healing. And of course, this has to come from a different place than our everyday life, than a horizontal plane of the world. So we know that we all have places in ourselves that need healing. It might be a physical pain, a psychological pain, even a spiritual pain. Some kind of delicate shame, a place maybe inside where we haven't lived up to the person we really like ourselves to be, or maybe even know ourselves to be. There's some pain with that, isn't there? Some difficulty, some recurring little voice that causes I love this term, delicate shame. I learned that through my studies of Rudolf Steiner. It's a shame that's not so heavy that we drown in it, but it's just enough to spark our attention so that we can learn from it and go toward it and heal it. So many of us are frightened of the places that are hurting. Or the other side is we wallow or we immerse ourselves continually in the pains and the wounds and all that needs healing. So I'd like to start today by entering through the heart. And of course it takes our going inside, our practices of dropping in and down, practices of breathing, listening, quiet, silence. I think this is our 23rd video today. And so in the first 10 videos, the real basic practices are there. And these are the ones we use every day. And we can use them to enter more complex practices. So I begin by dropping in and down, feeling my seat, my feet, my breath, listening. My breath starts, for me, my breath usually begins in my chest. I sense it in my nose, my chest rising and falling. And then about the third breath or so, the breath just, through practice of many years, drops into my lower belly, belly button and below the belly button, and the lower back. You can tell probably by the sound of my voice drops lower when my breath comes lower. We know when we're very excited and we're ready, the throat constricts and we come way up high in our energy into the top of our head. But for the practice of tuning in and learning to nurture and listen to the inner life, and also to contacting that living flame, that living self inside the self. And so we get to a place where we can enter into what I like to call either the temple of the heart or the chalice of the heart. And you can begin to make your own room in there. Mine is usually a pink seashell-like place that I can go, and there's a little seat in it where a part of me can go sit and see the pearl essence of beauty inside the heart. where I can be alone there, and I can be tender, and I can be forgiving of myself more easily and of others. And it's through this heart, through the warmth of the heart, that we can begin to access this other self, the self with a capital S, the I, where there is no right or wrong, good or bad, judgments and discernment. It's a vast, overseeing, bird's eye view of what is. What is? Right now I sense a pain. Well, I see if I call it a pain, that's so big. But if I listen to the lower back on the left side, it's a coming and going. It's a throbbing. So to actively heal, to actively listen, heal a physical pain, I have to rise above my horizontal into a more vertical relationship. From there, I can observe what it is. The size of it, the rhythm of it, the degree of heat, temperature, cold. And I can open to wonder. I don't go to the most serious or most difficult places. I start where I am. I start where maybe I want to actively heal my judgment. Oh, maybe my judgment is I should know better. I shouldn't have that pain. I'm a healer. I'm a Feldenkrais person. I meditate. I'm healthy. Why should I have? All those things have to go out the window. And we just have to be with what is. So we have to be awake. We have to engage with it. You could even have a conversation with it. You have to encounter yourself. And so many of us want to not. It's too shameful, too worrisome. That can never change. I cry too much. I hate too much. I can't believe I hate. So I don't want to see that I hate anyone. I don't want to see how shameful I am, or my parents were, how I have that in me, or all those little huge things that live in us and cause a dis-ease. To actively heal, to radically heal, we have to wake up. We have to meet. We have to encounter, engage, and hold accountable with loving kindness, with warmth. Oh, the one who did that. Oh, I can see clearly now how she had to manifest that. I see how that is in her life. And for a moment that can grow into minutes and hours and days, and maybe fulfill some karmic deed for the life coming if we return, we can encounter something, give it a living meeting, not shun it. And therefore there's some seed of transformation there. Let's go back inside. Find our seat, find our feet. Practice, practice, practice. We find that in active healing, it's a very courageous thing to do. There's the heart involved, the love. And we're not going to be talking to the one who has so many opinions about it. First, we're just going to be here in the most present state we can be through all our practices. That may mean when you're sitting for 15 or 20 minutes. And then you may come to a physical pain, a light one, not the worst one you had, or a psychological pain, something that you know really bothers you, but not the worst thing. Don't start with something so big that you surely can't do so well with it. Start with something fairly easy and practice. It's so worthwhile. We come to forgiveness, true forgiveness. And we'll talk about that another time. But come to meet, come to see what is, engage with yourself, with all parts of yourself. And if you come up and out again, come back down. Breathe, come back home. It's always an act of returning. Blessings on your day and your practice.